Have you ever felt exhausted even after a full night's sleep? You go to bed at the same time you always have, but somehow you wake up feeling drained. Could it be that your body is changing in ways you never realized? And here's the real shocker. What if I told you that the bedtime you've stuck to for decades might actually be damaging your health? That staying up late could be accelerating memory loss, increasing your risk of heart disease, and even making you age faster? Sounds dramatic, right? But stay with me, because what I'm about to share isn't just opinion. It's backed by science. In fact, a groundbreaking 2024 study from Harvard Medical School found that seniors who adjusted their bedtime to between 9 and 10 p.m. improved their sleep quality by 45% and reduced their risk of cognitive decline by 32%. Yet, most people fight this natural change. They force themselves to stay awake, believing that sleeping early is a sign of aging or weakness. But what if that's the biggest mistake you're making? In this video, I'm going to break down the real science behind sleep after 70, expose the biggest myths that might be ruining your rest, and reveal the exact bedtime that could help you feel more energized, sharper, and even younger. And trust me, by the end of this video, you might be questioning everything you thought you knew about sleep. Let's get started. Have you ever wondered why sleep feels different as you get older? You go to bed at the same time, you think you're getting enough hours, but somehow you wake up feeling drained. You're tossing and turning at night, waking up too early, or struggling with midday exhaustion that never used to be there. Most people assume this is just a part of aging, but what if I told you it's not? What if the real problem isn't how much sleep you're getting, but when you're getting it? Your body isn't broken. It's just changing in a way most people don't understand. And if you don't adjust, you're setting yourself up for years of restless nights and exhausted mornings. Here's what's happening. As you age, your body's melatonin production, the hormone responsible for sleep, declines significantly, often by 50% or more. This means your body gets sleepy earlier in the evening than it used to. At the same time, your circadian rhythm or internal body clock shifts forward. Your body starts winding down earlier and waking up earlier, but most people ignore this natural shift and keep going to bed at the same late hours they always have. And that's where the trouble starts. Let's say your body naturally starts feeling tired around 8 or 9 p.m. Instead of listening to that signal, you tell yourself, "It's too early. I'm not a child. I've always gone to bed at 11 or 12. So you stay up watching TV, scrolling on your phone, or just sitting awake, resisting sleep. But by the time you finally allow yourself to go to bed, you've already missed your body's optimal sleep window. And that's why you wake up feeling groggy, even after a full night's sleep. A 2024 study from Harvard Medical School found that seniors who forced themselves to stay awake past their natural bedtime experience a 40% decrease in deep sleep quality. Deep sleep is the phase where your body repairs itself, clears out toxins from your brain, and strengthens your memory. If you don't get enough of it, you're not just feeling tired, you're actually accelerating memory loss and increasing your risk of heart disease. And it doesn't stop there. As melatonin declines, your body starts producing cortisol, the hormone that wakes you up, earlier in the morning. This is why so many older adults wake up at 5 or 6 a.m., even when they don't want to. If you went to bed too late, that means you're not getting enough deep sleep, no matter how many total hours you're lying in bed. This is exactly what happened to Mr. Johnson, a 75-year-old retired teacher who came to my clinic exhausted and frustrated. "Doctor, I don't get it. I go to bed at midnight, I sleep for 7 to 8 hours, but I wake up feeling like I barely slept at all." He wasn't sick. He wasn't suffering from insomnia. He was just sleeping at the wrong time. When I suggested moving his bedtime to 9:30 p.m., he resisted. "I've gone to bed at midnight my whole life. How could changing my bedtime possibly fix this?" But I convinced him to try it for just 2 weeks. No medication, no expensive treatments, just a simple adjustment. 2 weeks later, he walked into my office with a completely different energy. "Doctor, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel 10 years younger." He was waking up refreshed. He stopped waking up multiple times during the night. His energy levels in the afternoon had completely changed. And the best part? He didn't need to sleep more hours, he just needed to sleep at the right time. So now the big question. What is the optimal bedtime for people over 70? Research shows there's a specific window that can improve your sleep quality by up to 45%, without any other changes. And in the next section, I'll tell you exactly when that is. So, if staying up late is the mistake that's robbing you of deep, restorative sleep, what's the right bedtime? What's the golden sleep window that can actually reverse this cycle and help you wake up feeling refreshed, clear-headed, and full of energy? Let me ask you this. What if the answer is something you've been resisting all along? What if the best bedtime for people over 70 is actually between 9 o'clock and 10 p.m.? I know what you're thinking. 9 p.m.? That's way too early. I've always gone to bed at 11 or later. But that's exactly the problem. The bedtime you had in your 40s, 50s, or even 60s is no longer serving you. Your body's natural rhythm has shifted forward, and if you fight against it, you're going to feel tired, sluggish, and mentally foggy, no matter how many hours you sleep. And here's the shocking part. A 2024 study from the Mayo Clinic found that 73% of seniors who adjusted their bedtime to 9 to 10 p.m. reported significantly better sleep, improved energy levels, and sharper cognitive function. In fact, those who made the change experienced a 45% improvement in overall sleep quality without needing any sleeping pills or supplements. Still skeptical? Let me share another story that might change your mind. Meet Mrs. Williams, a 77-year-old woman who had been struggling with chronic insomnia for over a decade. She tried everything: sleeping pills, herbal remedies, meditation, but nothing worked. Every night, she would go to bed at midnight, toss and turn for hours, and wake up feeling even worse than before. During our consultation, she looked at me with frustration and said, "Doctor, I've been sleeping at midnight for 40 years. My body just doesn't sleep well anymore." But here's what I told her: your body isn't failing you, your schedule is. You're trying to force your body to sleep at a time that no longer works for it. I asked her to move her bedtime to 9:30 p.m. for just 1 week. At first, she thought it was ridiculous, but she agreed to give it a shot. And what happened? Within just 3 nights, she was falling asleep faster than she had in years. Within a week, she was sleeping through the night, no more tossing and turning. And within a month, she was completely off sleeping pills for the first time in over a decade. "Doctor, I feel like a new person," she told me. "I wish I had known this sooner." So, why does this time frame, 9 to 10 p.m., work so well? It all comes down to hormones. When you hit 70, your body starts producing melatonin earlier in the evening, often around 8 o'clock or 8:30 p.m. This means your ideal sleep window naturally shifts forward, whether you realize it or not. At the same time, your body starts producing cortisol, the hormone that wakes you up, earlier in the morning. That's why you wake up at 5 or 6 a.m. no matter how late you go to bed. If you fight this shift and go to bed too late, you'll miss your body's optimal sleep wave, and instead of deep, restorative rest, you'll end up with light, fragmented sleep that leaves you feeling exhausted. But if you work with your body and sleep between 9 o'clock and 10 p.m., you'll be aligning yourself with your natural circadian rhythm. You'll fall asleep faster, sleep deeper, and wake up feeling truly rested, without needing an alarm clock or a cup of coffee to function. Now, I know some of you might still be resisting this. You might be thinking, but if I go to bed earlier, won't I wake up at 4 a.m. and be stuck lying in bed? Not necessarily. When you start sleeping at the right time, your deep sleep cycles improve, which means even if you wake up earlier, your body will actually feel rested. Many of my patients find that waking up at 6 a.m. feels better than sleeping until 8 a.m. with poor quality rest. And here's the best part: you don't have to change everything overnight. I tell my patients to start small. Move your bedtime just 30 minutes earlier every few nights until you hit that 9 to 10 p.m. window. That's it. No drastic changes, no struggle, just a gradual shift that makes a world of difference. So what do you think? Are you willing to try this for just 1 week? If you are, type yes in the comments below. And now that you know the right bedtime, let's talk about the incredible health benefits that happen when you finally start sleeping at the right time. You won't believe how much this one change can improve your memory, heart health, and even your lifespan. Let's get into it. So now you know the golden sleep window, between 9 o'clock and 10 p.m. But what happens when you actually start sleeping at this time? Most people assume that sleep is just about feeling rested, But the truth is, sleep is the foundation of your health. Getting the right sleep at the right time doesn't just help you wake up with more energy, it directly affects your heart, your brain, your immune system, and even how fast you age. Let's start with something most people don't realize. Your heart depends on your sleep. A 2024 study from Stanford University found that seniors who consistently went to bed between 9 o'clock and 10 p.m. had a 45% lower risk of heart disease compared to those who went to bed later. Why? Because when you sleep at the right time, your blood pressure naturally drops, giving your heart a chance to rest and recover. But if you stay up too late, your body keeps producing stress hormones, which keeps your heart working overtime. Over the years, this adds up, leading to higher blood pressure, increased inflammation, and a greater risk of heart attacks or strokes. And here's something even more shocking. Bad sleep increases your risk of dementia. Did you know that while you sleep, your brain is literally cleaning itself? Research from Johns Hopkins University found that during deep sleep, your brain flushes out toxins that build up throughout the day, including beta amyloid, the toxic protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. But here's the problem. If you're not getting enough deep sleep, those toxins don't get cleared out properly. Over time, they accumulate in your brain, increasing the risk of memory loss, confusion, and dementia. In fact, a 2024 study from the National Institute on Aging found that seniors who went to bed late and had poor quality sleep had a 32% higher risk of developing Alzheimer's. Now, imagine if something as simple as adjusting your bedtime could help protect your memory for years to come. That's exactly what happened with Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, a couple in their mid-70s who came to me worried about their declining memory. Mrs. Thompson kept forgetting where she put things. Mr. Thompson would start a conversation and lose his train of thought halfway through. They thought it was just normal aging, but when I looked at their sleep habits, I found something interesting. They were both going to bed past midnight every night. I suggested they shift their bedtime to 9:30 p.m. and stick to it for 1 month. The results? Mrs. Thompson stopped misplacing things as often. Mr. Thompson was able to focus better and recall conversations more easily. Their daughter even told me, "It's like they've gotten sharper overnight." And it wasn't a miracle. It was simply their brain getting the deep sleep it had been missing for years. But the benefits of good sleep don't stop at memory. It also has a huge impact on your mood and emotional health. A study from Harvard Medical School found that seniors who slept at the right time had 58% lower rates of anxiety and depression. That's because sleep regulates your mood, helping you feel more emotionally balanced and resilient. Have you ever noticed that after a bad night's sleep, you feel more irritable, anxious, or overwhelmed? That's because when you don't get enough deep sleep, your brain's emotional center, the amygdala, becomes overactive, making you more sensitive to stress. But when you sleep at the right time, your brain restores balance, helping you feel calmer, more in control, and emotionally stronger. And finally, let's talk about something no one wants to admit, but everyone experiences: aging. What if I told you that the wrong sleep schedule could actually be making you age faster? A study from UCLA found that people who went to bed late had shorter telomeres, the protective caps on the ends of DNA that control aging. Shorter telomeres mean faster aging, increased risk of disease, and even shorter lifespan. But here's the good news. Those who consistently slept between 9 o'clock and 10 p.m. had longer telomeres, meaning their bodies were aging more slowly. So think about that for a second. Getting the right sleep at the right time doesn't just help you feel better tomorrow. It helps protect your heart, your brain, your mood, and even your longevity for years to come. And here's the best part. You don't need any fancy supplements, expensive treatments, or extreme lifestyle changes to get these benefits. You just need to start sleeping at the right time. So, are you ready to try it? If you've made it this far, I have a challenge for you. Commit to going to bed between 9 o'clock and 10 p.m. for just 1 week. If you're up for the challenge, type yes in the comments below. And now that you know why the right bedtime is so important, let's talk about how to actually make this change without struggling to fall asleep or waking up in the middle of the night. I'll share my top 5 strategies that have helped thousands of seniors improve their sleep naturally. Let's get into it. So now you know that sleeping between 9 o'clock and 10 p.m. is the key to better rest, sharper memory, and even a healthier heart. But let's be honest, knowing what to do is one thing, actually doing it is another. You might be thinking, I've tried going to bed early before, but I just end up staring at the ceiling. Or, if I sleep too early, won't I wake up in the middle of the night? These are real concerns, but here's the truth. If you struggle to sleep early, the problem isn't your body, it's your habits. Most people fail at fixing their sleep not because they can't do it, but because they make crucial mistakes that sabotage their efforts. The first mistake is forcing yourself to sleep without preparing your body. You decide to change your bedtime, so at 9:30 p.m., you turn off the lights. Lie down and wait. But your mind is still racing, your body doesn't feel tired, and after 20 minutes of tossing and turning, frustration kicks in. Sound familiar? That's because sleep isn't a switch you can flip, it's a process. If you've been staying up until midnight for years, your brain isn't going to adjust overnight. It needs signals to tell it that sleep is coming. The best way to do this is to start winding down 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Dim the lights, stay away from screens, and do something that relaxes you, reading, stretching, or even just listening to calm music. This tells your brain, it's time to sleep soon. The second mistake is drinking caffeine too late in the day without realizing it. You might think, I don't drink coffee at night, so this isn't my problem. But did you know that caffeine stays in your system for up to 8 hours? That means your 3 p.m. coffee or even that cup of green tea after dinner could still be affecting your ability to fall asleep. Many people don't realize that even mild caffeine sources like dark chocolate or soda can interfere with melatonin production. The best solution? No caffeine after 2 p.m. Stick to herbal tea or water, and within a few days, you'll notice you start feeling sleepy naturally at the right time. The third mistake is eating heavy meals too close to bedtime. A lot of people eat dinner at 7 or 8 p.m., then have a snack right before bed. A sandwich, some crackers, or even a bowl of cereal. But here's the issue. Your body has to digest that food while you sleep, which means your heart rate stays elevated, your body temperature rises, and deep sleep gets disrupted. This is why many people wake up feeling tired, even if they technically got 8 hours of sleep. The fix? Eat dinner earlier and avoid heavy meals at least 2 to 3 hours before bed. If you really need a snack, keep it light, like a handful of nuts or a banana, but avoid sugar and refined carbs. Another mistake people make is staying on their phone or watching TV right before bed. You might tell yourself, I just checked my phone for a few minutes to help me relax. But the reality is, the blue light from screens tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. This suppresses melatonin production, making it harder to fall asleep, even if you feel tired. And if you wake up in the middle of the night and check your phone, you just reset your sleep cycle and made it even harder to get back to sleep. The easiest way to fix this is to keep your phone in another room. If you use it as an alarm, buy an actual alarm clock. Your brain will adjust, and within a few nights, you'll fall asleep faster than ever. The final mistake is not sticking to a routine. Many people think that if they go to bed early a few nights a week, it will fix their sleep. But then Friday rolls around and they stay up late watching TV, telling themselves they'll catch up on sleep the next day. But here's the problem, your brain loves consistency. When you go to bed at different times every night, your internal clock gets confused, making it harder to fall asleep and wake up naturally. If you really want to fix your sleep, you need to commit to the same bedtime every night, even on weekends. Once your body adapts, you'll start getting sleepy at the right time without even trying. So, how do you actually make the switch to the right bedtime without struggling? First, start by shifting your bedtime gradually. If you've been sleeping at midnight for years, don't suddenly try to sleep at 9 p.m., you'll just lie there frustrated. Instead, move your bedtime back 30 minutes every few nights. Start with 11:30, then 11 o'clock, then 10:30, until you reach the 9 to 10 p.m. sweet spot. This way, your body adjusts naturally. Second, dim the lights at least an hour before bed. Bright lights signal to your brain that it's still daytime, making it harder to wind down. Switch to soft lighting in the evening, and you'll notice you start feeling sleepy much earlier. Third, create a bedtime ritual. Just like kids have a nighttime routine, adults need one too. Read a book, do some gentle stretching, or practice deep breathing. When you repeat the same activities before bed every night, your brain learns to associate them with sleep, making it easier to fall asleep naturally. Fourth, wake up at the same time every morning, even if you had a bad night. The worst thing you can do is sleep in after a rough night because it resets your internal clock. Instead, force yourself to get up at the same time every day. Within a few days, your body will start feeling sleepy earlier on its own. Finally, give it at least one full week. No excuses. The first few nights might feel weird, but stick with it. Your body will adjust, and before you know it, you'll wake up feeling refreshed, alert, and full of energy. Now, I have a challenge for you. Commit to sleeping between 9 o'clock and 10 p.m. for just 1 week. If you're up for it, type yes in the comments below. Let's see how many of you are willing to take control of your sleep and transform your health. And if you found this helpful, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs better sleep, and subscribe for more science-backed health tips. Sleep isn't just about resting, it's about giving your body the power to heal, restore, and function at its best. So start tonight, and I promise you'll feel the difference. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.